This is pole over this side, is it?
Yeah,
left-hand side.
Left-hand side, maybe. That's Stephen McLean.
All right, coming up for a start in the Senior Nationals, looking pretty good. There goes the Australian flag, and away they go. And jumping straight to the lead from position number 1, Stephen McLean in cart number 1. Interesting to see where Linda Mapp is there. She's in cart number 5 and giving them a bit of a touch up the rear. There's trouble there too, as Linda gave someone a bit of a touch, and somebody else got into trouble behind her as well, and Greg Mackay moves through to take up the 3rd position. But sorting themselves out after the first chicane, it's cart number 1, Steve McLean in front. In cart number 5, that's Linda Mapp, and then well back then, here's the replay of this. You can see Linda was just going to give Stephen McLean a bit of a shove, and then somebody else got a shove from her.
I think it was Colin Moore, actually. He won't be happy about that at all.
So Stephen McLean in front. He's in cart number 1. Cart number 5, hot in pursuit is Linda Mapp. 20 lapper, and Colin Moore has been put out. We've just been informed. Cart number 2, that's Greg Mackay up into 3rd position. Stephen McLean has had a particularly good carnival here in Wollongong this weekend.
Yes, very good, Jeff. He's certainly done his homework very well. Well, there you go. He's right out in front. He's doing it fine. But it's a long race.
And those chicanes have been tricky.
Yes, they are fairly tricky, but fortunately this year they seem to be a little bit wider, and the drivers enjoy that. It makes room for 2 carts instead of just 1.
And that's Corey Wright in cart number 4 that's now in 4th position. We're with the leader, number 1, Steve McLean. There's Linda Mapp in 5. The police radar have clocked him in the back straight at 91.5 kilometres an hour. Is that fast for the senior class, Chris?
That's pretty good, yes. That's about the speed that we expect to do along the back straight. Well, we've just been talking there. You noticed Greg Mackay has now moved up into 2nd position, overtaken Linda Mapp, and did that under brakes.
Linda Mapp will stick with him, though, because there's only one member for that family, or about to be family, left in the race.
Yes, yeah.
Stephen McLean.
Greg's the guy I think that'll certainly make all the big moves, but anyway, it could be anyone's race.
Well, just judging by that shot, they're really closing in on the leader, Stephen McLean. Greg Mackay will be interesting to see when they come to this corner. He's shot through on the inside too, as you called. Now Greg Mackay has gone to the lead. That's coming out of the chicane with Stephen McLean in front there, but Greg Mackay has now gone to the lead. Stephen McLean in cart number 1 is 2nd. Cart number 5, that's Linda Mapp back in 3rd position. And that's going to be one of the main passing areas right throughout the racing this afternoon as well. That corner, that very sharp left-hand corner coming up under Brambles Bridge, that's in practice yesterday and also in further practice this morning. Prior to the finals being run this afternoon in Wollongong, a lot of passing has taken place at that particular section of the track, Chris.
Yes, that's right, Jeff. A lot of braking manoeuvres are done in go-karting. It's a test of brakes, a test of who's got the biggest heart at the time, and that style of thing. But no, brakes are definitely a situation where we have a lot of positions changing hands.
A race in 3, that 4th car just buzzing through the picture there is number 4, Corey Wright. But at this stage, it's a race in 3, and I'll tell you what, Linda's not giving up either.
No, she's doing a great job. Look at that. That's tremendous. Linda is one of the best girls about. There's no doubt about that at all. She's really got her act together. She tries hard, and she's dedicated to the sport. I don't have the facts, but I think she took out some sort of a title in Victoria around about 3 months ago in the other type of kart racing, the non-gearbox type kart racing. But no, she's staying up there with the guys and doing a tremendous job. That's great.
Chris, are there many women and girls involved in karting from a driver's point of view?
Oh, it's spread out throughout the classes. There's probably 2 or 3 in this particular class, New South Wales wide, and in the other classes they have their sprinklings of 2 or 3. But there are some brilliant girl drivers. They really know what they're doing. And
obviously they hold their own if Linda is any guide to go by.
Yeah, look at that. You know, she's right there with it. There's not much between those 3. Could be anyone's race.
2, 1, 5, and number 4 in cart 4, Corey Wright, who's making up a little bit of ground, but still it's Greg Mackay in front of Steve McLean. Linda Mapp in cart 5 is running 3rd, and there's cart 4 whizzing into the picture there with Corey Wright. 2, 1 and 5. That's the trifecta at the moment. 20-lap finals. That gives them time to sort themselves out.
Yeah, it does. It was obviously a little bit hectic in the first lap or two. That's only natural. That everyone seems to get a little bit excited, but Greg knows he's got a bit of a lead there at the moment. Not much, but it's half reasonable, and he'll be doing his bit to stay out in front and just not doing anything silly. That's what he'll try and do.
Is that the usual distance of a final, Chris? 20 laps? I kind of remember a couple of years ago at the 1989 Wollongong Go-Karting Grand Prix, I think they were running 12 and 15 lap finals, and the Grand Prix itself was over 20.
Yeah, it's not unusual to see a 20-lap final. This is a class as a reasonably long sort of a circuit. 20-lap final, well, no, that's fine. I like 20-lap finals myself. I think they're great because it really sorts us all out and gives us a little bit more mileage on the track, I suppose you could say.
As we see coming through that chicane and over the finishing line there, Greg Mackay has just opened up a little bit of a breather over Linda Mapp. Averaging 90 kilometres an hour as he goes round this very, very fast circuit, and a different circuit to what we've seen in the past. Here's Linda moving up on the outside of Stephen McLean, having a go at him too, might even take him here. It's Greg Mackay in front. We'll see when they come back up. No, that's round that very, very hard left-hander corner again. And Stephen McLean manages to keep Linda out this time round. But as you can see, Greg Mackay opening up quite a handy lead. And it's a good battle for second and third. She's staying right behind him. Slipstreaming come into this very much, Chris?
Yeah, a little bit of slipstreaming. Actually, at the higher speeds, yes, there is just a touch of it, although the karts aren't super aerodynamic. But what's actually happening in this situation too is Greg's out the front doing an excellent job. The other two are dicing against each other, and that sometimes can be actually just slowing the two of them down just a fraction because they're aware that they don't want to touch wheels or bump into each other and send each other off, and sometimes it can have a little bit of a detrimental effect.
And meantime, it's allowing the leader to increase his lead ever so slightly every time they go around. I think you'll agree that that lead is gradually extending each lap.
Yes, it's fairly obvious, isn't it? It's he's just getting a few more metres each lap, and he's doing it reasonably comfortable. Although you can see him get down behind the steering wheel to let the wind go over his head, and every little bit helps in this sport.
Do you know much about Greg Mackay at all, Chris?
No, a little bit about him. They're involved as a family. The Mackays, lovely people. They're from up the mountain, up at Bowral. His father is a car dealer. Greg's an apprentice mechanic. They put a lot of time into karting. He's got a couple of sponsors, Southside Karts in Sydney, and his father from his motor dealership. But they're very dedicated, and I think Greg will go places. He's only about 18 years of age. Great guy.
Notice him when he comes over that little bump, he tends to jump in the kart as well. Is there a particular reason for that, or is that?
Yes, what he's doing there, he's trying to edge the kart on a little bit. A lot of drivers do that, and it's probably a little bit arguable whether or not it helps you at all, but in the long run it probably helps you just a smidgen of a second.
I guess when it's a really close race, those little smidgens, if you've got 20 smidgens together, it does probably count in the end.
Yes.
This is our race leader in the Senior Nationals, Greg Mackay. And again, you can see him getting well down over that wheel, cutting down the wind resistance.
He's into the braking area now and around the left-hand corner, up underneath the Brambles Bridge. He's still doing it fairly comfortable, but it's like all things, the race isn't over until the checkered flag drops.
Over the line he goes. That's the 14th lap they've completed now. Another 6 laps to go. And at this stage, Greg Mackay doing it particularly well in the finals of the Senior Nationals. Into second position, I think that's Linda Mapp that's got through into second now, is it?
That's
she
right.
has taken him.
Yes. Well, she'll be ecstatic about that.
She's got past Stephen McLean, so it's not over for second and third, maybe not over for the winner of the Senior Nationals. Even though Greg Mackay leads handsomely, here comes Linda Mapp, having been responsible for putting out Colin Moore, her fiancé, probably on the first corner, was it? The first chicane.
I don't think actually Linda was the actual cause of that. She was very close. It's a bit hard to tell because it happened so quickly. But anyway, whatever's happened. But Linda's got one thing in mind at the moment. She wants to win the race, right or wrong. And obviously Greg's got the same intention too, so they'll have to sort it out in the next couple of laps.
Chris, when you get to the front like Greg has here, do you tend to sort of ease off the pedal a little bit and just sort of keep something in reserve, or do you tend to sort of flatten it and maybe get yourself a break so that the others become a little disheartened and stop chasing you to a certain degree?
Well, it varies from driver to driver. Sometimes when you're out in front like he is, it can be a little bit of a situation where you think to yourself, geez, I've got a whopper of a lead. I'll just back off just that word that I used a while ago, a smidgen. But, you know, if something goes wrong, you can pay the penalty for doing that. I tend to think if I ever get out in front like that, you know, just go like Billy-O. And, but that's not very often.
Well, gee, there's a good dice going on for third here at the moment too. We've got Greg Mackay in front of Linda Mapp. And there's 3 or 4 carts battling for that third position. We did have Corey Wright in there at one stage. That's 15, that's Brian Goodger. That's number 2, our race leader, Greg Mackay in front. Number 5, Linda Mapp running second. And the big dice is behind her for third position. Are these people competing for prize money here today, Chris?
Yeah, so the City Series gives pretty good sort of prizes. I had a quick look at the trophies a little while ago, and they're beautiful trophies, and quite often they have things as decent sort of colour TVs and video recorders and style of things like that. This particular class, I could be wrong, but I don't think there's any cash involved in this one. There's a lot of pride, I can tell you.
Here's our race leader, number 2, running second. Number 5, coming up to lap some of the slower cars, or the slower carts.
This fellow will do the gentlemanly thing and wave them through.
Wayne Gardner's very keen on this in the bike racing as well. When he gets up behind slower bikes, he's very keen to let them know that he's coming through.
Yes, it's the right thing to do for sure, to let the front guys go through, especially in a race so important as this one.
Our race leader, number 2, Greg Mackay. Running second, number 5, Linda Mapp. This is the last lap, we've been told. 2 and 5. Having led most of the way, Greg Mackay only has to negotiate the track one more time around through these chicanes. It's caused quite a deal of trouble in many instances during practice yesterday, and also again earlier this morning prior to these finals being staged this afternoon in Wollongong. But they're having no problem with them at the moment.
Just looking back, I think we've got David Clinton, Wollongong fellow, in third position, it looks like.
Well, we certainly hope so. That'll be a nice little boost. But here's our race leader, Greg Mackay, going to take the checkered flag after having led most of the way, and he thumps the air, and Greg Mackay takes out